Hey guys, it's Champion Marks here. I just recently noticed, but I've actually uploaded 100 vids now. Pretty cool, like, landmark, I guess. And this battle actually wasn't designed to be a special for that occasion, but considering who it's against, it might as well be, because it's versus Fizzy freaking Stardust. He is the most boss guy you will ever meet, and just in general is hilarious. So go look at his channel, go love it, go subscribe to him right now. Anyway, let's go. So anyway, this is NU match, if you couldn't tell by the lead-offs of him actually bothering to use a Stantler, but yeah. And this is not just a Stantler, it's the legendary Mantler, but yeah. Uh, I expected it to be NBZ's Mantler, because, you know, that's basically what Mantler is. It's like NBZ's thing, but so he goes for the Thunder Wave. I was thinking he probably would be because of the Thunder Wave. You know, he'd have Reflect Thunderbolt Energy Ball. I think that's NBZ's set for Mantler anyway. But it turns out not to be, because he has the Confuse Ray, so I'm like, well, shit, it's the Parafusion Flincher. And, by the way, I got up Stealth Rocks on the first turn, because he has, like, 3 things weak to it, so I thought that would be really important. Anyway, goes for the Thunder Wave on my Frillish. Not the best thing ever, because, you know, that means I have a pretty damn small chance to do anything, but I do get off the Toxic, which basically means this Stantler is pretty much dead at this point, because no matter how much it flinches or paralyzes or confuses my Pokemon, it will die at some point. So yeah, he switches out into his Swellow as I double switch, well, not really double switch, but I switch out into my Miltank, thinking that would be the best to take on his Mantler, but he goes out and do Swellow, and yeah, I don't see an Orb on. No Toxic Orb, no Flame Orb, so I'm like, well, okay, is this thing Choice Bandit or something? I don't know. Maybe Scarf, because that U-turn did Jack Dilly Balls. But, you know, I don't... Well, you might know, but I don't, because, yeah, stuff. But anyway, he sends in his Mantlers. I try to go for Body Slam, get paralyzed. Wouldn't really have done anything, because, you know, Stantlers intimidate and stuff, but would have helped, I guess. Not really... Didn't matter at all, but yeah. So here, I do believe he decides to just go for the Headbutt to try... No, he goes for Confuse Ray to, you know, confuse Thunder Wave thing that is called Paraflinch. Yeah, no wait, that's... Yeah, Parafusion, my mistake. And I hit myself, which is just lovely. But anyway, here, this is where I believe he goes for the Headbutt, and I'm like, okay, you have Headbutt instead of Stomp. That's okay with me. I'm not sure if this thing, you know, stuff. But anyway, yeah, it does go for the Headbutt. It's obviously gonna make me not move, because no matter what, I'm not gonna move. I do get hit by Confusion, which kind of sucks, because I lose a smidge of my HP, but because of the Intimidate, Confusion really doesn't do anything, because, yeah, I get more HP back from leftovers than actually did damage to myself. But, yeah. Now, here, I think I switch into my Frillish, or... No? What happens? I'm not really sure. He switches into his Electros, as I believe I switch into my Frillish, trying to wall that thing, because Headbutt won't do anything, and Zed Headbutt's not really going to be doing too much on the Frillish, even though its defenses aren't... Well, its normal defense, anyway, isn't the most stellar, even with the Eviolite. But yeah. Here I was predicting he'd go for a... like, predict me to switch, so I went for a Will-O-Wisp, because I was thinking, if he's the physical set, I want to cripple it, but in retrospect, physical or special set aside, Toxic would have been a better play, because it just would have more quickly killed this thing, and if it was the physical set, my Tangela could have easily handled this thing, no problem, anyway, so yeah. But that's hindsight for you. Goes for an Acid Spray. I'm expecting he's going to go for a Thunderbolt now, because that's the most obvious play after he just lowered my special defense 2 stages, and I have a Water type out. So yeah, I go into my Miltank, and I believe he gets a crit here to insta-kill my Miltank, which is not fun at all, because that means that I don't have any Heal Bell support anymore, which is... not the best, but, you know, it's manageable. Not the worst thing ever, considering my Frillish is only paralyzed, not poisoned or burned, because, yeah, on walls, paralyzed is the better of the situations that you want to be in. Here, I send in my pincer because I have the mold breaker, so I can go for an earthquake, but I choose not to because the switch into a flying type is way too obvious. So I just go for a close combat, expecting A, for Swallow to come in, or B, Butterfree to come in. Swallow comes in, dies, which is awesome. If Butterfree came in, it just would have been absolutely raped by rocks, wouldn't have taken anything from close combat, and I just would have went for Stone Edge because Eyes is Expert Belt, not Choiced. Here, he sends in his, fucking Druddigon thing. Yes, the slow dragon. I know I can't one-hit KO this thing because they usually are invested in HP and maybe in defense because of their lack of speed of any kind. So I switch into my Tangela, expecting maybe a Fire Fang, I don't know. But he goes for a Glare, and again, my wall's being paralyzed. I am perfectly okay with that. Here he switches into his Electros, and yeah, this thing really gives me trouble, because it's an electric type, so I don't really want to switch in my Frillish, but electric types usually carry the hidden power Ice, so I kind of have to send this thing in, otherwise my Tangela will get wrecked. And not to mention it's Electros, so it doesn't even need the hidden power Ice, because it can carry a Flamethrower, so yeah. I need to replace Frillish. Maybe with a Quagsire, I don't know, but, you know, something that can take on electrics that could potentially have hidden power Ice. But that's not really something I should be talking about right now, anyway. Goes for the Thunderbolt, kills off my Frillish really easily because it's super effective stabness and stuff. I just go back out to my pincer. Now here, I know he's probably going to switch out into his Butterfree, but on the off chance he doesn't, I just go for the Earthquake, because even if Butterfree does come in, I'm perfectly safe to stay in and try and KO it, because, like I said, Expert Belt, not Choice. He was hoping that I was Choice, so that I'd be forced to switch out, but nope. I just go for the Stone Edge and kill off his Butterfree, and I'm just like, hey man, what you know about that Expert Belt pincer? Because, you know, it actually works pretty well, because all the stuff in NU is usually really slow, so pincer can just, like, easily swap up moves on almost any switch in and destroy it. Whatever it decides to switch in, anyway. Anyway, Druddigon, back out. I want to take the physical move with my Tangela. He just goes for another Glare for reason. I don't know what that reason is, but, you know, he's Fizzy. He always has a reason for something, except when he doesn't. But anyway, I go for Leech Seed, expecting him to switch out. Goes into his Electros, which is awesome, because if I'm right, that's the only special attacker he has left. So as soon as I get this thing out of the way, Tangela can pretty much clean up shop with the rest of his team, considering they're physical attackers, and the only real problem Tangela would have would be with Bear Tick, but unless that thing gets boosts up, even an Icicle Crash is going to be doing a stellar amount of damage. If I have Leech Seed up, that is. If I don't get Leech Seed up, then it'll be a problem. But anyway, he goes for a Flamethrower as I go for the Protect. So, because, yeah, I want to Leech Seed Burn Stall this thing, because that's the, you know, most effective way to kill this thing right now, because I have nothing to switch in on any of its special attacks. I go for a Protect, hoping for the double Protect, but it doesn't happen. He goes for Thunderbolt, expecting a switch, which is, you know, okay play, but I really didn't have anything to switch in on a Flamethrower, aside from maybe Haunter, because, as you'll see later in the match, Haunter actually does have half-decent defenses, though you really wouldn't think it, because his defenses, if I remember correctly, are shit poor. Back to the battle. Electros dies to Leech Seed and Burn, and he brings in his Bear Tick, and he's just like, yo, what do you know about Bear Tick, son? And I'm like, well, I know it's Ice type, its signature move is Icicle Crash, and it's, give or take a Choice Scarf, it's slow as all freaking hell. But yeah, he goes for an Icicle Crash, gets a flinch, which I'm like, oh wow. And now I'm just like, okay, make sure that nothing happens so that I won't get Leech Seed. And yeah, nothing does happen. No flinch, no paralyze, no miss. So yeah, I'm perfectly good with that. But here, I'm like, do I really want to chance getting paralyzed on my Protect? I'm like, no. So I decided to just go into my Haunter, sack it, because I was thinking that this thing wasn't Scarfed, so that I could just bring out my Pincer and KO it later. But, yeah. I actually lived the icicle crash with my Haunter, which I thought was hilarious as crap, because Haunter is supposed to be one of the most frail things ever, and I just go for Hidden Power, and I actually misgen this thing, and it has a Hidden Power Flying instead of Hidden Power Fire, but gets a crit, so, you know, really doesn't matter. And he just KOs me, and he was like, well, you're Scarfed. I'm like, okay, if you notice that, then you're obviously Scarfed as well. So I just go into my Absol, and I'm going to just slap his face off with a Sucker Punch, because why not? It's pretty good play, and nothing else he has that he'll come in really wants to take hit, because, you know, Absol is pretty powerful. But anyway, gets rid of Beartic, and this is basically GG, because he really has nothing that can handle my Absol effectively, and my Pinsir afterwards, so yeah. I just go for a Psycho Cut, because I didn't really want to go for Superpower for some unknown reason. I get a crit, because, you know, Super Luck, high crit ratio stuff, and I kind of felt bad about that, but no, it's Absol. Asking to not get crits on an Absol when you're using high crit move, yeah, it's not going to happen. He just brings back out Mantler, gets the Intimidate, probably should have done that first, but you know, stuff. And I just go for the Psycho Cut, and I get another stupid crit to win the game. Good game, FizzyStardust. Continue being the most epic boss ever. Comment, rate, sub, and later, guys.